Hey guys, Jingrave's back and doing another Manga Vault video for you guys. I might actually do two for you guys. I don't know. Stay tuned. So, I did have to move some pop boxes out of the way because they were sitting on top of them. So, if you guys see that there's a little more over here, I had to move those out of the way so I could get to them. But anyway, let's get into it. Really good stuff in this one. So the first one up is actually, it was supposed to be a continuous series. Didn't go very far, but this is Summoner Girl. This is really nice. Basically the girl has all these little guys around her that all focus on like one particular element or something, and she could use them and summon them, and so they actually, if you read like One Piece, how Big Mom has Zeus and Prometheus, kind of like that. You know, it becomes like the essence of her attack. So this is a pretty good one. It, like I said though, it got like hiatus completed because when they were doing this, this kind of ended it, which is kind of sad. This is another one I read a long time ago. This is 12 Days. I love this one. The art in it is beautiful. But basically it comes down to how do you grieve for somebody that's died. You know, the person in the book decides that they want them to still be a part of them, and so they consume their ashes, which is not really unheard of. Like some tribes in Africa do that. You know, some people will just touch the ashes and then touch their tongue. I mean, a lot of stuff. Some people will put the ashes on their forehead. You know, a bunch of different cultures do a bunch of different things. But this one, she decided to consume it by smoothie, which is kind of weird. But I thought it was a really touching one, really touching story about how you always want to stay with the person and actually making it through there. So it was a really good book. Then we also have Butterfly. And Butterfly was kind of weird. This one I'm pretty sure is like a psychic kind of thing. It only got one though too, because it didn't go very far. This is also another old Tokyo one. I'm not sure if this one went away for the same reason or not. But yeah, this one is with ghosts. So you can like see ghosts. So I have this one, Aquarium. It's kind of more of a collection of short stories than it is really just about an aquarium. I mean, I know they tell you that that's what it's called because I think that's the main big story in it. But I mean, it's right there. It tells you on the top. 3 tales of love, loss, and longing. So, I mean, there are 3 tales that are in there. And I think it's just kind of funny that they go with that. So, Aquarium is the first one. Then it's Princess Prince, and Call Me Princess. So those are the 3 that are in this. But this was a pretty good one too. The Aquarium one was really good. The other ones, one of them I felt like was really good, and then the other one was just kind of good. So not like very much on there, especially because you're only getting kind of like a short story about it or something like that. And then we have this one, Dojin Works. These are all bundled up. If you guys didn't know before, I was trying to move all my stuff to a storage unit, basically, and I had already put shelves up in there and everything else, and I was like, okay, well, I know this storage place had a couple of problems here and there where water would come in, and so I started wrapping them all. So if you look on my shelves and you see ones that are like super shiny, probably 9 times out of 10, unless you know that series, is actually like a shiny one that really has a lot of gloss and stuff to it. 9 times out of 10, it's ones that I've already wrapped. And sometimes you'll see some of them are glossy and some of them aren't because I wrapped half of them, or I found one and I couldn't find like one maybe in the middle of the series and stuff like that. So that one's really good. This one's about writing manga though. Dojin Works. And then we have this one, which somebody told me I don't have it all, but I didn't find some stuff where it said that there was actually more to it in English, so maybe if somebody has this who wants to send it, you know, I'll accept it. But this is 7 Billion Needles, volumes 1 and 2. This is kind of weird story. I don't know what the other two hold, but that one, these two are enough to make you kind of be like, this is a little weird. So let's see. Then we have this one. These 5 go together. This is Akihabara At Deep. This is kind of about people hacking into the internet, trying to hack Akihabara. At one point it becomes a game and you find out that the guy that's in it, or one of the guys that's in it, retired like years ago, and he was like 14 and now he's coming back as like a 19-year-old or something. I can't remember the age, so don't quote me on that if you do know. But he goes back in, and like long ago he secretly like implanted all these like bugs and little viruses that didn't mess with any systems, but into like everywhere. And so this guy's having basically like a fight with him, trying to get into like a bank computer or something, and he ends up like overloading the system because everybody, all these ones that he had, are trying to go in and access an account, and it just overruns the thing, so he ends up getting through and stuff like that. But there's more to it. It's really good. It's supposed to be like a video game company that he's working for, and it just kind of goes awry. So then we have this one, really good series. I thought it was sped up too much, but this is Samurai Man. Otaku Mike actually got this on a recommendation, and then recently he did it in a giveaway, so whoever got that giveaway, I hope you really enjoy it. But up until the last one, I feel like they were going at a steady pace, and the last one that it was like, hurry, 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 you have to get done. Do it right now. So it's like they do this big thing, and then long and behold, here's the last boss kind of thing, and it just came really quickly. So that's one of the things. It is a good series, but that's one of the things I hate about it. Let's see what else we have in here. Let's see if I can find all these ones together. I think they're all in a row, maybe. They were all in a row. So we have these ones. This is Sayuki Reloaded. It's not the regular Sayuki series. It's kind of the one that continues after it. But this was a great series. I actually started watching the anime for this first of the regular Sayuki series and fell in love with it. So then I bought the manga and read the manga and everything, and it was just as spectacular. So I think I've seen all of the Sayuki series. It's really good too, though. All these different guys have like different ways of using magic. It's really good seeing how none of it's like exactly the same thing. None of it is, you know, it's like one of the ones I'm reading recently, Infinity Force, where all of them get like their powers from some scientific way differently. This one's kind of everybody gets theirs from some kind of magic source differently, but they're all like different worlds and stuff like that. So Sayuki is a really good series. Like I said, I'm pretty sure there's a regular Sayuki and then there's Sayuki Reloaded, and I only have the Reloaded, so it's kind of the only bad thing about that. But maybe at some point. Then we have both of these. This is Dragon Sister. Also pretty good series. Didn't really get off its feet though, which is a thing that I'm a little upset about with that. But you have a sister that's really good at fighting, a sister that's really good at magic, and they both try and kind of do different things, helping like the emperor, it is, I believe, or like one of his people, and it just kind of goes crazy in the middle of it, or I guess in the second book, but it never finished. I think a lot of the ones that are in here are actually ones that never got finished here or there, but we'll see more as we go, because I know some of them probably did, some of them didn't. This one did. This is Freaks, Legends of the Non-Blondes. This is a really good series too, guys. If you haven't read it. Basically, it's a guy that is kind of like a ninja. I mean, it's not exactly a ninja. I mean, they do have like updated stuff in there, cars and whatnot, and they try to figure out how to get basically the Freak back, which pretty sure the Freak is like a computer source or something. But yeah, this one was a good one. I always liked the joke that I always had in it, basically, where it was like the cover says, category of the Legend of the Non-Blonde, so like nobody in the team actually has blonde hair. So it was always funny seeing that and being like, hey, they got a new member, oh, he doesn't have blonde hair. Let's see. Then we have this one. This is Lone. Also a good one. It's kind of like a Kyuubi fox comes to the world and just looks like a human and tries to find help to get his tails back. And he's trying to do that, so they go through a couple things and find his tails here and there. I think they find like 3 or 4 of them. And everybody wants him because his tails hold like this magic power. So some people have them and some people don't. It's kind of like I was going to say the Dragon Balls, but that's not it. It's oh goodness, I'm not going to be able to think about anything for it. One of those where like everything is a whole. Inuyasha. There we go. I know I'd think about it eventually. Inuyasha, where like one piece of the Seikon jewel basically made you like this really good, like badass. 2 made you even more. So it was like if you kept going, you did better. And that's kind of what this is. If you have a tail, you're automatically like almost god status in this book. And so they have to go in and defeat those people. Well, then the last one, this one also got sped up at the end, which, like I said, it's one of my pet peeves that I really hate when books do it, when they speed them up so much. But like the last character had 3 of the tails, and it was kind of like, this is the end-all be-all fight because this is the ultimate bad guy and stuff like that. So I was really upset with this series that it kind of did the same thing. Do you have another one? I don't know if it's in these or somewhere on one of my shelves, but I have another one called Kuro Sakuro that did the same thing that I am very upset about, because all these stories started going really good and then they just instantly like dropped something, and then it was like the next thing you knew was here's the final battle. So it was going really fast. Let's see, what else do we have in here? We also have this one, Yokaiden. It's really good. A boy basically goes into the forest trying to find answers to something. I can't remember that. But he finds like a kappa, and the kappa's like, don't come near, I'll kill you, you know, and he knows like the kappa secret, which if you don't know about that is if you pour, if you distract him, I think it's with a cucumber, there's something, either a cucumber or you distract them by answering the riddle correctly, then you can knock the dish off their head, and if you do that, then they either can't move until the dish is put back on, or they have to go get the dish and fill it back up with water. So, and there's different things that you can do to a Kappa, but this guy sees it. Kappa got stuck in a trap at one point, lost his leg, and so now the Kappa's kind of helping him, even though it's not really one of those relationships that is healthy, because the Kappa like threatens him here and there. But it's a really good yokai one as well. Like I said, I feel like most of these are ones that deserved more of a chance that didn't get it. Then we have this one, which is Pagans, pronounced exactly the same way, really small. And Pagans is pretty cool. This one, there's, again, different people that have different fighting styles and magic and whatnot. They come together and try and do all the stuff like in the modern world. And it's kind of like they're bounty hunters trying to go in and do stuff, but they do missions regarding, like, as they get paid for, that don't always pertain to a bounty, like trying to find out information or something like that. And there's different people in the groups that act different, and people that get added later on, they're all pretty funny. I think my favorite one was the little orange-haired guy. He's like a ninja, but he's also like really young, so he's never like felt the love of a woman or the touch of a woman or whatever. He's like a big closet pervert, because he's like, he'll sit there and wait for something, and then he'll like look. He always like stares at the girl's boobs, so then it's kind of like, I wasn't doing anything. What are you talking about? No. And he kind of gets away with it though, because he's never known that, and so they all know that he's kind of like this little kid at heart, even though he's, well, I mean, he is still kind of a little kid. I think he's like 14 or 15, but it's pretty funny. Then we have Mugen Spiral. This is another crazy one. That's 1 and 2. But yeah, this is like some of the old stuff too that I told you guys, that just the style that it looks like, where they look more graceful, beautiful, stuff that would be more considered like shoujo and whatnot. Then we have Mikanzi number 1. This one is also a pretty weird series. I gotta jump my memory back real quick. I think this one is Witches and Wizards, and they're trying to find out, oh no, they're singing, that's what it is. They're trying to form the best duet team, and they have to figure it out by singing. They go up to this, they sing here and there a couple times, and the guy doesn't want to get together because he's like, I'm the best in the world, I'll get to the top myself, you know. And the girl's like, but we sound better together, because they accidentally like sung together at something. They both were in a restaurant or something singing a tune, and just kind of fell in love with it. And then the girl knew, some other people knew, but the guy didn't really want to go for it, that both their tunes kind of mixed really well together. And so it kind of concludes with them doing a big concert in the park, and some people can't get into this other concert, so they're just like, screw it. Well, they hear this one, they're like, oh, these people are way better. So if there was a second part, I'm sure we would get more to the story about them rising to the top, but alas, we didn't. We have this one of the most gory series I've ever read. When I was little, this one was one that I kind of freaked out on, but it's called No Man's Land, not to be confused with a TV show. But there's basically like these big humanoid monsters that take like over bodies, and after a certain time they can change back into themselves, kind of like the cockroach guy in the first Men in Black movie, where he's kind of inside of it, And at the end, you know, you see him pop out and it's this big cockroach. And you're like, how did that fit in there? That's how this is, but they do that, and what they try and do is kind of like Claymore, get closer to human beings and stuff and eat them. And that one probably has one of the most graphic scenes of that, where there's a little girl's mom laying there, and she's dead, naked and everything, and one of these monsters like ate her. So, you know, they drew like the intestines and everything. I mean, when I was younger, I was kind of like, oh, what did I just get done reading? This cannot be on any list of things that most people have read. So, No Man's Land is one of those that it's got a Western gore factor to it that I think is pretty good, but the second one didn't hold up, you know, because then you didn't get really that shock factor from it, but that one was just like, oh my god. So it is really good, though. Like I said, a bunch of these ones, if you give them a chance, are really good. We have this one. This one I got from a friend too, way back when. This is Hibikis Magic. It's really good. They go into how not all magic is just stuff that is out there. Hibikis Magic is her certain form of magic, and she didn't know what it was, so she had to figure it out, and it kind of spawned out from there what it is, because in that world, magic can be magic, but then magic can also be basically like hope or miracle, stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure that's kind of what Hibiki wanted it to be, just couldn't figure out how to get the hang of it. So I think she's kind of like the green girl, Kuzuno from Sekiro, where she has plant powers. So I'm pretty sure that's what hers is. Let's see what else. Then we also have Mythology of the Heavens. If you want a real crazy story, I recommend that you read this one. Only two. I know there's supposed to be more, but they didn't continue it. But it's really weird. It's kind of done how like the old like kind of how Buddha is, where like they show boobs, but it's like more of the cartoony stuff. Like if you were gonna draw like African women or something like that with their boobs out, it's not really that big of a deal in it. But they did that and they played it, and it's like every story kind of led into a different ongoing story, and it would kind of jump back to it at some point, to the original, but then it would go forward. Really confusing. I would hands down say it's a really good one if you split it up individually. If you read it all the way through, a lot of it is just confusing as you're reading it, which is kind of what was a little upsetting about it. But like I said, I mean, there's nothing in my collection that I wouldn't recommend or put into it again, just because of all the stuff that it is. Because I mean, a lot of it is just spectacular, and it's just stuff that you have to get into and read and try and figure out an understanding and go from there. And most of the time, you know, it might take you reading the first chapter a couple times, it might take you reading another chapter a couple times, it might take you reading the whole book again, you know. So stuff like that, that's usually where I sit and I dig and dig and dig and try and figure out every little thing that I can about the book while I'm reading it. That way I kind of know, hey, this is what's going on, and it's not as bad as you thought, because then you understand it a little better. So then we have this one. A lot of people know this one. My brother knows this one for sure. We've talked about this one multiple times, but this one is D and Angel. this one was really good, but one of the things that they pulled over on us in this one is you get to the end and they have a part where it says, go watch the anime. The anime has the true ending. So there's a manga ending and there is a anime ending, and supposedly the anime ending is the true ending, which was a pain in the butt. We won't go that far into it though. But this was a pretty good story. Basically, like, the guy has an angel in his bloodline. You always become the same angel guy. Different people have seen him before, and it's inherited down. And there's kind of like a white angel guy that I think is supposed to be more of a demon. And yeah, I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, this one's 13 volumes. Like I said, really good series. One that me and my brother have talked about many a time. Many a time. And I mean, it's a good series. Highly recommend it. You may want to watch the anime over reading the manga though. Like I said, there's just a lot of stuff that goes with it. You know, and you can't always just put your finger on some of it, because I mean, sometimes when they write a story, it's kind of all over the place, like some of these, and other times you can follow it to a T, like most of the regular stuff. But I mean, back in the day, I don't think people really cared that much, especially when all these were coming out, because everybody wanted to have that really nice, cool stuff to read. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, and I hope you guys are still enjoying this. I talked to one person the other day about it, actually talking about it, and they were like, yeah, man, this is cool. I like seeing all the old stuff. Not a lot of people actually own old stuff to actually do it, you know, which this is another reason why, guys, it's kind of good to have an older, bigger collection, because then, like I said, a lot of you guys like to see what older stuff had before, you know, if it was true, if it wasn't true, can you go with it, can you find it anywhere, can you read it, you know, and some of it's stuff that probably people read before but didn't know about. Didn't know you could find it somewhere or whatever. So when you don't read a lot of the old stuff, guys, I think it's kind of a disservice to people. And there's not actually very many people in our community that have read just all this crazy junk. You know, but likewise, I mean, there is other stuff out there that some of us haven't read, and you know, we just kind of got to figure out how to have it done and how to read it and all that other stuff. But yeah, guys, I hope you are enjoying this series. Like I said, there are tons of things out there. I had somebody the other day, like I said, tell me this is really good. They've never seen any of this. They are a big anime watcher. They've seen the animes for some of these. I mean, that's not even a big amount. When they were telling me what they've seen. But, I mean, for the amount that they've seen, and to only have about 5% of my Vault series stuff in it, you know, wasn't really like that big. So hopefully they see a little more and they comment on it and let me know later on. But yeah, hopefully you guys are still enjoying this, liking seeing all the newer stuff, or not newer stuff, older stuff brought out into the light, made new, I guess. And you know, seeing what all this stuff is, stuff that I've collected before, and you know, stuff like that. I'm sure you'll see other books as I get through my TBR and current TBRs and stuff of what's there and what people have and haven't seen or read before. So anyway, I will catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. And like I said, I'll see you guys later. Bye.